Greetings, this is Sarah Rushlow on behalf of Baker Hunt's Art and Cultural Center, here to bring you another fun and exciting art tutorial. Well, let's get started. Today we are going to be painting a rabbit in a meadow. So what you're going to need for this is some watercolor paper, watercolor pencil, brush, some brushes, some paints, watercolor paints, and some paper towels and water containers. First thing you're going to do is take your watercolor pencil and you're going to outline your rabbit. Then you're going to take your brush, going to get it wet, and you are going to paint the inside of your rabbit with water. You want your rabbit to be somewhat wet, but you don't want just standing water. So sometimes you might need to sponge up a little bit of the excess with your brush. So now I'm going to get my brush wet again, and I'm going to choose my first of 4 colors, in case a reddish brown. And I'm just going to dab my paintbrush over the back end of my rabbit. Notice I'm not spreading it out. Paint and water is doing that for me. And I'm just going to be touching my brush, give a little bit of paint to the front half of my rabbit. Going to clean that brush out a little bit. Choose now on to my second color choice, in this case a yellowish brown. Just going to go over the border of that reddish brown. All right. If I have a smaller detail brush, now's a good time to use it for the white. So I'm going to get my brush for my third color wet with some white. I'm going to give him a little white cottontail. A white face, chest, and put a little white in his ears. You'll see why in a second. Rinse out your brush real well. Now, go into your red. I'm using a very cool red. And I'm just taking that red paintbrush and I'm just touching it to the surface of my rabbit's ears. And just to the tip of his nose. Give him a little pink nose, little pink ears. My brush out. So while I'm letting my rabbit dry and I'm waiting to paint his eyes, I'm going to get my brush wet again and I'm going to draw the grass that he's sitting in. and the bush that's behind him. I'm getting my brush wet with some yellow paint, and I'm painting a blotchy line that goes across the paper horizontally and goes just above my rabbit's toes. I'm being real blotchy about it. I'm not filling in all the white. So if you'll notice, when you're looking at grass, it tends to be blotchy. It's not a solid color normally, especially in a meadow where the blades of grass are different heights. Getting my brush wet again. Getting my a little bit darker green, still light green, but a little bit darker. Going in and getting my light green to go with my yellow. And I am just using my paintbrush, just adding some blotchy strokes. To my rabbit. Sit down. Now I'm going to go in and paint the bush in the background. So I'm going to get my brush wet again, and I'm going to choose my first of 3 colors for that bush. I'm using like a dark green first. And I am just going over background in my rabbit. I'm going around the rabbit. You don't have to paint like right up to the edge of your rabbit. Using nice blotchy strokes. All right. Normally I would say wash out my brush first and get it clean, but in this instance I'm going to go ahead and use the water that I've been using to clean out my brushes. Get some brown, just add some dark brown dots to some of those patches. Notice I still have some white spaces that I can see. Brown's just going to be like a very deep shadow. All right. Last but not least, I'm going to go into my indigo, and I am going to fill in the last of those white spots in the background. This time I'm getting my detail brush and I am going in, and now I'm outlining my bunny in that indigo. Let your brush. All right, now, so you're gonna let your bunny dry a little bit before you paint his eye and his flowers. While you're waiting, you can go check out Baker Hunt's website at bakerhunt.com. Check out more of our Stay Safe, Stay Creative videos. If that doesn't sate your appetite for watercolor, please check out and sign up for my art class, Brush and Beyond 2. We'll be doing more things like this and things that you will not see on in these tutorials. Go ahead and get your brush wet. Now you're going to get your brush wet. I like to use a flat brush. It's kind of a slope. If you have an old toothbrush though, that works too. Get your brush wet. get your orange paint wet and then just flick that brush at your meadow. Make the flowers. Get out your detail brush for his eyes. Get that brush wet. Paint his eye. Try to leave a little bit of white inside his eye, so it looks like he has some reflections in his eye. And that is how you draw a rabbit. This has been Sarah Rushlow on behalf of Baker Hunt Art and Cultural Center, here to tell you to stay safe, stay creative, and I'll see you next time.